Here we are. Good morning, everybody. We are
Morning.
live.
What's going on?
We got TikTok, we got Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, everybody, Twitch. We're all over the place.
I love it.
So to start, I know you all are looking for Sharnice, my partner. She had a family emergency. She's going to try to pop in if she gets the chance. If not, you all are stuck with me today. So how you guys doing? Our special guest this week, we have a duo, a power couple, should I say. Chris and Erica Cobb, they're the owners of the Chosen Agency. It's a life insurance firm. They've been in business for 4 years. And they're my personal life insurance agents. I want to throw that out there. Love them to death. Guys, can you give them a more formal introduction so that way I don't belittle what you guys have accomplished?
Absolutely.
Thanks for having
it.
us, brother.
Yeah, so my name is Chris Cobb. We're actually out of Houston. People always ask me, how did I get my background in life insurance? And it is you think about life insurance in our community, usually it's always a horror story, right? Such and such had to pay out, it didn't pay out, or such and such didn't have a policy. So now we're passing the hat, we're doing that type of stuff. Unfortunately, that's not my story, though. I actually had a grandmother who passed away 10 years ago. She actually had a pretty decent sized life insurance policy. So she left over six figures children, and one of those being my mom. So we went from, my family's all in education, so we last check to check to boom, we're paying off all our debts, we're paying off all our students. We got 2 or 3 rental properties that year. So became homeowners and investors, and it's because that's the same year I got braces. So life insurance taught me confidence, but my smile. That's this, like the industry and how I create generational wealth and provides a legacy. Someday probably that's what pulled me into the industry, and also I just want to make it bring sexiness to life insurance.
Yeah, and I think it's cool for anybody that's on the live or seriously dating. I encourage you to think about something you can do with there's nothing more powerful than building a brand, building a business partner. It just strengthens your relationship in so many ways. Like you get a whole different light than you normally would, because think about it. Usually, jobs, so you're apart from each other 8, 10, 12 hours a day. So the majority. So I'm thinking, like, why not spend it together, and you get to see their strengths and weaknesses, that vision for your legacy. So when Chris decided to start his life insurance company, we weren't dating or married, and I was like, I will. So I got licensed just to help him. I'm a mechanical engineer, so I was at the time. I just wanted to help him and see his dream come true. And I really fell in love with my own childhood. My mom actually died when I was 7 years old, and she didn't have life insurance or anything. I could see the flip side of what happens when you leave a child or you leave a loved thing. So I bought into the vision and really decided to run with it. And after months, I think we both retired from our corporate jobs, 28 years old, and full-time entrepreneur.
Okay. I thought it lagged. I was like, she stopped.
No.
So TikTok actually got hot. I got 2 questions. I think you all answered one. I write them down. It says, did you all start together? But I think when I read it, Erica, you were kind of answering that, right?
Yeah, we're in Houston now, but I was living in Atlanta. So when we got started, I don't know how to explain it. It was like we were together, but we weren't.
Yeah, it was long distance.
It was long distance, and not only in 2 different regions. And so the people that we were reporting to were 2. So obviously we're side by side, we're sharing secrets, but we literally reporting to 2. We kind of built together, we figured it out together, but it was still a separate effort. I mean, it was what it was at the time, but I promise you, being married and having partner and actually doing it to a world of difference.
Yeah. Our business, when we were doing it kind of long distance for our first year or so, year and a half, I would say, night and day in January 2020. And Chris actually moved to Houston and we started building our own, agency like night and day.
Gotcha. Shala said, she said, what's my peep? I think she meant to say, what's up, my peeps?
Yes. Shala. What it do?
Hey, Shala.
Good to see you.
What was it? Where was the second one? Because TikTok, it's so many, the thing floods away. Okay, well, we didn't really get started yet, but they're already going into the insurance questions.
All right, let's do it.
It says difference from job insurance from third party insurance. That's all they wrote. So I'm not. Let me see. Anna 442. It's a bunch of numbers. So Anna,
Yeah.
can you go more in depth with your question? They'll answer it to the best that we think you meant. But if you can go more in depth, they'll answer it a little better.
I think I got. It's a question that we get all the time. Do I need individual job? And great question. And this is what I typically ask people: do you plan on?
That's it.
Because if you don't, then that insurance will never pay out. So, as much as your job offers, because it is the least expensive. So I'll be honest, like $6 a month. So take as much as they'll offer you, but there's a good chance that you're not, and there's a good chance that you're gonna leave or retire at some point. And so what we see all 65-70 saying, "Oh, I always had it with my job. I need it now," and they're paying $200 versus if you're middle aged, pretty good health, that same $100, $200 can give you $500,000, and you doesn't change. So yes, get your work insurance, get as much as they offer, but outside, because like I said, it's the great resignation. People aren't staying with jobs for 30 years. Track workers now 1099, all this type of stuff. So there's a lot that can change over the next 20, 30 years. Hey, with a third party individually, you got it installed. Like it never changes. So yeah, go ahead and lock it in.
Really good question. Keep them coming.
Yeah.
Whatever y'all want to know.
Someone said, hey guys, it doesn't have you registered, so it just says Facebook user. So we'll say hey, but we don't know who the user is.
It's all good.
What's up?
Okay. I have a personal question.
Okay.
Kind of, Chris, you kind of answered it. So each job's insurance, I guess they use different life insurance companies. Is that it? So it's like, let's say I work for Verizon. Just throw out a random company. I have life insurance with Verizon. I quit or get fired or whatever. That doesn't carry over. I can't carry my life insurance policy with me to the next company.
So that's the challenge. Most people think like, oh, well, I'll just take it with me. No, it doesn't work like that. Insurance, you don't get to carry your benefits. If you quit Verizon, I'm sure you got like some damn much for your service. You don't get to keep that with you either. Like all the benefits, all the perks of actually working them. And like I said, for most of us, I mean, I know most of your audience, I'm assuming that millennials who would stay at a job for 30, 40 years. Nowadays, no, every 3-5 years, we got to be upgrading. We got to be.
I was getting ready to say, listen, when you said 3 to 5, that's a stretch. You got we live in a universe where YouTubeologists and TikTok University reign supreme. So people don't even think they need jobs anymore. It's like I'll go on TikTok for motivation sometimes. Like, let me see, what should I post? What should I do? And then I'll see somebody like, get your LLC. I'll teach you how to make $1 million in 15 minutes. I'm like, what the fuck? That's not how it works. But you got people that truly believe that that's how things work. So yeah, staying at a job ain't like that. They'll tell you, man, listen, go get a 9-to-5. I want you to make $5,000 from your 9-to-5. Quit your 9-to-5. Open up an LLC. Go buy France. Now that you bought France, I want you to sell France. When you sell France, now you got $100 bazillion. Go buy a life insurance policy. Invest all that money into your life. I'm like, what are you talking about? So
no,
yeah, it's funny, man.
Real life. But also, another thing that insurance with your job, usually they only offer you 1 to maybe 2 times. So if you make $50,000, the life insurance policy may be 50,000 or 100,000.
Yeah.
And so most people are saying, "Oh, I'm struggling already with what I'm making." Well, how would your family, your kids, next 10 to 15 years with 1 or 2 times your salary?
Yeah, that's.
Hey,
So,
listen.
People don't think about that.
Yeah, obviously, but even if you have a life insurance with your job, you're probably underinsured because it's not enough if something was to go wrong.
I'm gonna tap in again. I'll get to everybody's questions. This when you said that the kids. So my dad passed when I was 15. He worked for the DC Metro, and at the time I was 15. He only left us $100,000, and the reason I say only is because now I'm an adult. $100,000 for my mom and 3 kids for the rest of our lives. That's nothing.
No.
You know.
No.
Don't forget, at 15, I knew nothing about credit. My mom didn't know anything about credit. That $100K went in like 2 years or less, you know? So it's not just about life insurance. And I'm not trying to overshadow you guys, but education too. And
Preach, brother.
Listen, this is why I love Chris specifically, y'all, because me and Chris, we've been on the phone for hours. And not only are they my personal life insurance agency, Chris is my life insurance coach, man. This dude talked to me and was like, "Yo, KP, do this, this, and this." And I'm like, "All right, look, I got an extra certain amount of money. What do I do with it, man? Dump it in the policy and let it grow." And I'm like, understanding now where it's like, it's not just about when I die. It's about while I live. Yeah. So that's huge. We'll touch on it a little later. I just when you said the kids, I felt because I was like, damn, my dad
passed, but I don't think I knew he passed like when you were under 18 though.
Yeah. I was. So we got like monthly checks or something. I don't know how it works, but once I turned 18, this goes back to the lifestyle, that we were in. My mom was using our checks to support our life, pay the mortgage and all things like that. But it's like, even still, it's like, damn, wasn't that money supposed to be for me? I get it. We were in a good house, we were in a neighborhood. But at the end of the day, I'm like, well, shit, if he was still alive, would we have been there? I don't know. So it's just a lot. It's a lot. I felt that.
Yeah.
Okay, we got some comments in here, y'all. Charlotte said, Chris and Erica know this biz, but they ask her. Trust me, I was just preaching. Listen, you see, we got more people preaching, y'all. They are the real deal. TikTok, we getting some likes. I appreciate you guys. Coming through. What's the deal? Thank you for the follow. That's the name. All right.
Coming through.
She said, no excuses. I have multiple health issues and private life insurance and job insurance at its cap. Don't play with it.
There you go.
Listen, like you said, it doesn't
like
hurt. It doesn't hurt to have multiple. I was just talking to Chris the other day about, hey, can I get multiple? He's like, listen, let's max it out and then start another one. All right, cool. Let's do it.
Yeah.
Let's do as many as you can qualify for.
Daryl said, facts, that's nothing. Yeah, 100K for 4 people go fat. Yes, man. Especially kids. If you all parents, guys, I don't have to explain it. Y'all already know kids are like money vacuums. They worse than trucks. They sucking up everything. Daddy, can I have? Come on, cool. We'll find ourselves. Luckily, I know credit, so we get all our reward points. But come Christmas time, easy $5,000. We got Jazz got 6 kids, so you can imagine. I'm getting kids stuff, getting my wife stuff. I gotta buy my mom stuff. Like easy 6,000. He said your mom a soldier. My mom had 4. My wife got 6. She the super soldier.
You surrounded by strong women.
All right, let's get to it. We good TikTok? Nothing extra, nothing on IG. All right. So these are my questions, guys. Like I said, if you guys have questions, feel free to type them out. I'll pause and I'll ask your questions. But we have some questions, and then Cops, if you guys want to freestyle on anything, just go ahead and do so. We have the first one is, what is the best type of life insurance, term or whole? It's
a great question. My husband always says the best type of life insurance is when you die. It doesn't matter what kind it is.
Right. Just
make sure it's going to pay out when you die. Our industry, that, what's better, term life, whole life, this, that, an agent arguing over it. And I'm like, guys, this doesn't accomplish anything. You're not getting the person insured that this is better, that this is better. They're all good. There's no bad insurance. Like every type is good, and it pays out when you die, or you're able to leverage it while you're alive. So just get something, do your book a free call with us at our calendar, and we can kind of show you the differences, and you can make just get something.
Yeah, and if you're just trying to figure out what is the difference, so think about T's. So term is good for a set amount of time, like 20, 30 years, terminate. So the beautiful part about term is that it's going to be the least expensive. You get more for less. Advantage is that it does run out, and when it does, you don't have anything to show for it. So you don't have a policy into it. Now, whole, on the other hand, is what we call permanent. It never expires. So if you get a permanent policy today, whatever you lock it in for, whatever price you're paying, for the rest of your life. So whether you pass away 5 years from now, 50 years from now, your family is guaranteed to get the issue. Disadvantage to that one, though, it's going to be more expensive. That's it. So I always tell people, are you more concerned with having as much for as little price as possible? But it really doesn't matter what you're going to commit to, because some people say, Chris, I would never buy a term because I don't like the fact. Well, if that's the case, then don't get it. And some people say, well, Chris, I'd rather get $1 million in term and I'd rather have that for the next 20, 30 years to make sure my kids have enough insurance to take care of everything. There's, different strategies for different things, but honestly, whatever you think makes the most sense for your goals, go with that.
Yeah. And if you want to learn a little bit more about insurance is best for me, what type should I get? I already have it talking. I don't even know what type I have and if it's good or if I can get something better. You guys are to 346-701-4765, and that to our free webinar where we'll be teaching about the different types of insurance and become an agent for those of you that might be interested in getting licensed, making some extra money. It's free. It's our next webinar, so you could learn a little bit more. And afterwards, if you want to ask personal questions.
It's not one of those 2-3 hour long webinars, guys, where they're gonna bore your heads off. It's about 15-20 minutes. It's pretty 15-20 straight to the point. So if you guys look, text webinar, it's gonna be on the ticker for the rest of the live. It is webinar, just normal, 346-701-4765. So if you guys heard me, you got it. If you guys can see it, like I said, it'll be, just do a quick screenshot. You guys can see that the whole time. You guys can lock in. Again, if you guys have any questions, if the questions you guys ask are like overly detailed, then we'll probably just push it toward getting you guys on the webinar. But for the most part, simple yes or no, simple this or that type of questions, we're good to go. I did get 2 from Instagram, and I think I got one from TikTok, but I got to go back and scroll. One says, if my policy expires, do I lose the money?
It just depends. With term insurance, yes, that's the disadvantage. It's just like when you lease a car. You may lease a car for 3 years. The advantage of leasing is not as expensive. It's more convenient. But what happens though, you don't have any equity. You turn the keys in, you turn the car in, and that's how traditionally term works. When it expires, you don't get anything. Now, there is it's something called ROP. And ROP stands for return of premium, specifically set up so that when it does expire 20, 30 years down the road, you actually get a refund. So that's the way to get a refund if you say, hey, I don't like the fact that I get nothing back. Now, this is a little bit more expensive. You're going to pay more for it. But like I said, hey, if you pass away during that time frame, you outlive it, you at least get your money back. So that's the worst case scenario.
So I'm a tap in an additional question. This is for me. So with the suggestion, and I'm not saying obviously there's no right or wrong, but for someone younger, let's say under 25, term wouldn't really be ideal. I mean, we would hope to expect to live beyond 55, because most terms are what, 30 years, I think. Is it 30? So let's say someone specifically 20 years old, unless you plan to die before you're 50, term might not be the best route to go, correct?
Correct. And the only caveat is if they have a lot of, say, this 20-year-old already is like, he can be a young boy. He may have like 5, 6, 20, and you got houses and properties, and you just got a lot of assets, and they want maybe, but most 20-year-olds typically aren't married yet, don't have children, don't own $50,000 to $100,000 for somebody at that age. That actually is sufficient, and being in good health, getting that into a whole life or a permanent insurance policy, literally. And the thing about it is, it never changes for the rest of your life. So you lock it in, you grandfather it in. So more than likely, strongly disagree or not suggest our scenarios where it could make sense, but for the most part, like 99% of the time, go ahead and get something permanent, life value, asset that you can use later for the future.
Gotcha. All right, so that covers that one question. The next one for Instagram was, are there any discounts for being married?
You get individual policies, so it wouldn't be called like a discount, kind of how it works in the insurance industry. It's heavily regulated, so you can't be put in promo, you'll go to jail. But we can work with any budget. Plus what your budget is. Hey, I need me and my wife covered for $40 a month. I need me and my wife and my kids, whatever your budget is, we can put a solution together for you. So you tell us what your budget is.
Yeah, and I just want to touch on that too. So life insurance, not to get like based off risk, and so a husband and wife can have two different risks, right? Shape, eat healthy. A husband could have had cancer, So for things like that, realize because they're gonna insure you individually, because the risk that whenever they sign up to agree to anything, that they get all each person individually, and that's how it works.
Got you. Okay. Did you get that? I don't even know how to say this name. I think it's I won't say it. BLAQUSSESS. It's some no. I hope you know who I'm talking about. But yeah. Listen, I get some YouTube names on these Instagrams and TikToks, man. I found the last one. The last one was, how can I make money from my life insurance? That's what the question was. It didn't come from KP. It says, how can I make money from my life insurance? Is that even a thing?
Yeah, I think what they're asking is, like, how do you get the cash value? And most life insurance policies are tied to the index of the market. What it does is mirror that. And so the way it works is, let's say you're paying your premium this month. Well, a portion of that goes to just your life insurance, but also a portion of it invested mirroring the stock market. So when the market goes up, you make money. And then when the market goes down, the beautiful thing about life insurance is that it's insured, it's protected. So usually people expect to lose money when the market goes down, but no, you actually stay flat. You may not make anything, but you don't lose anything. You make money. So over time, over 20, 30 years, it builds equity that you can use tax-free. And it could be for, the beautiful thing about life insurance, it could be for whatever. Like, maybe you want to use it to send the kids to college. You want to buy a house, you want to buy a car, whatever the case is, that money tax-free and it's growing at the rate of the market.
And that's a specific policy, not term life, that's not whole life. This is a type of permanent life insurance, universal life insurance, IUL. So that's a specific type of policy to do that.
And obviously, if you have questions, text webinar or get on the website, because we love to explain this stuff. See some research.
Now go ahead, Chris. I'm pointing at the webinar while you're telling them. I'm telling them to text it.
You know, I'm gonna say, hey, text me. We go over this stuff on the webinar, but 2, we also have a personal calendar that you can book some time with minutes and just kind of show you how it works specifically to you and your situation.
Look, y'all go in with questions. Y'all leave out with a policy, man. I'm telling you, it's how it works. Wonderful, because when you fully understand how it really works, and you can get a policy as low as, you know, maybe even lower depending on your age and your health, but $40-$50 a month, you guys are paying that for miscellaneous things that you don't need, that are not helping you already. So it's like, how I like to look at it and how I started mine was, I'm paying the landscape guy, I'm paying the Netflix, I'm paying for Hulu, we're paying for Disney Plus. Do I need all those things? Don't get me wrong, I kept everything, but I was just thinking, if I was in a situation where I couldn't keep it, it's like, okay, I can cut my own grass. You know, I'm paying this guy $100 basically $200 a month, 100 every 2 weeks. And, you know, the Netflix and the Disney Plus, all that stuff. And I started thinking, I'm like, that's about, you know, $300-$400 a month of miscellaneous spending that I don't truly need, right? Cut that for a life insurance policy. My life insurance policy was you know, a little more expensive because I wanted a little more. But if I needed to cut expenses to be able to afford it, that's what I would do. I look at the necessities before the wants. Necessities, they supersede anything else. It is a necessity. Life insurance, and I'm not trying to sell for them. They can sell for themselves, but life insurance, guys, is a necessity. It is not something you want to play with. God forbid, you could die tomorrow. You could die today. You never know. It's inevitable. The one thing that's not inevitable is you will die. We're all gonna die. You know, I don't want to sound like a damn Undertaker, not crazy, but it's the truth. You know, it's the one guarantee that any person can tell you, is that you are going to die one day. That's the one guarantee. So why not be protected when the time comes? You know, the only situation I could see you not being protected is if you had literal absolute no family. It's unfortunate for some, and it is the case for some. But if you have any type of family, children specifically, please get life insurance. It's not a game, guys. It is not a game. Like I said, my dad left me $100K. Unfortunately, he didn't pass away on purpose, but it wasn't enough. It didn't really help the family because he's gone. So not only did we lose a father figure, we lost his support, to help my mom, his support to alleviate her from parental duties. And then the money that it was just a minor bit of money that we couldn't even do anything with. Here it is 15 years later. And I had to become a man on my own. So it's a lot more to it than just the money, the education and understanding, because with Chris, sorry, I'm pouring into myself. With Chris teaching me the things he taught me, I now teach my children those things. So, the day when I do die, my kids are going to be okay. Hey, dad left us X amount of money. This is what we should do with it. Not just dad left us money. Let's go buy houses. Nah. Y'all know what y'all need to do with that money. Go ahead and make it work. I see y'all in heaven one day and we'll be good. But it's important, man.
It's crazy because I was talking to basically talking about the same thing, and it's just our minds, we don't think the right way. So I was asking him, I said, would you rather have a golden goose? And most people, they're like, of course I want a golden goose because it produces the golden eggs, right? Well, you realize you are the golden goose. Like, you're the one who lays the eggs. When you have a car, how did you get that car? Did the government give it to you, or did you work for it and pay for it every single month? Exactly. Pay for it every month. That cell phone and tablet and all that stuff. Who paying for that? You're the golden goose, but because your car, you have to have insurance. Like, and you don't think twice about it. You got mortgage protection. You got insurance on your cell phone, Apple Care. So all you're doing is insuring the golden eggs. But what happens to you if something? What happens to your family if something happens to the goose? All this stuff is getting cut off. Really, just don't think about it. We just think about all like I said, the egg. But no, take care of the goose. Because if you take care of the goose, it's going to take care of everything else.
Exactly. I got one more. So my question, this person asked the question, and it's kind of similar to my second question, so I'll ask them both. What's your name, sir? Dave. It just says Dave. Dave said, how can I use my life insurance policy before I die? My second question was, how can I use my life insurance to be my own bank? So they're pretty much the same question, if you guys can answer that one.
So I'll speak to something. I'll let you answer the banking part. But you can use your life insurance policy but if you get sick. So a lot of people don't realize this, but how many of you guys gotten cancer, kidney failure, Parkinson's, heart attack, stroke? What to someone? Two things. Number one, their expenses go through the roof because now they have all these. Number two, their income typically goes down because they're not able to work at full capacity anymore. Maybe they got fired because they've been in and out of the hospital type thing. So you're able to have the right type of policy. If you have a policy, which all policies are not like this, but we are living benefits built into them for our clients. So what that means is if our chronic or terminal illness, like heart attack, stroke, cancer, things like that, they're able to benefit while they're alive to take care of whatever they need. Maybe they're in chemotherapy, or they're in chemo and maybe some type of insurance or something's paying for that, but still has to get paid. You can use the life insurance to pay your mortgage, keep your kids in private school. Like you can while you're alive. So many times people think about life insurance, they think death, but what if you need to take because you're sick? You can use it. That's one way you can use it before you die.
Yeah, it's hard too because I've seen like real life examples with that. Like my dad had kidney failure. He was an engineer. He was the breadwinner growing up for many years. And then boom, all of a sudden doing dialysis 3 times a week at a clinic for 3 or 4 hours. So you go from supporting 3 kids and your wife to now you're on disability. You're making 50% of what you used to make. If you know anybody who does dialysis, I mean, physically, you just ain't got the energy to do labor in there, but it's hard. And growing up, we didn't have that type of policy. By no stretch of the imagination, but it definitely would have helped the family out a lot to have a couple $100,000 to just to kind of, keep the ship afloat. And it happens all the time, guys. Bankruptcy is medical bills. Like we just do not think about it. We don't plan for it. Go hard because I've experienced what it's like to be in a situation where nobody did anything wrong. No one got arrested. Life happened, and you're stuck. So that's how you can use it. One for medical, becoming your own bank. It's honestly because the way the tax codes are set up in the U.S., life insurance is a way to cash tax free. Like it was built for that. So all these policies on Capitol Hill, all that stuff, they come up with these laws because they want to benefit from it for themselves, and they've been looking for ways of how to save money that Uncle Sam can't afford it. And life insurance was one of the ways that they created that avenue. So what happens is insurance policy, and obviously there's a cost to having insurance. So yeah, you're paying a premium for the policy. Your premium is $30 a month. You may be paying $30 a month. Just throwing a number out there, $300 every single month. So what happens is all the money that you're putting in the stock market. So when the market goes up, you make money, and when it goes down, it's protected. It happens is if you put a lump sum, like KP was saying earlier, he knew somebody who was talking about putting $100,000 in from that right away tax free. So that's the beautiful part about it is gaining interest, quote unquote, borrow it from yourself. You don't have to pay taxes because we don't pay taxes on loan asset to yourself and use your own asset as collateral. And it's still growing on averages. That's the beautiful part. That's the cheat code. So yes, if you have a couple of dollars in the bank, or I got this IRA and I'm maxing it out, but I got extra money I want to play, that you can max out something else. Because with life insurance, there's no limits. You can put $5,000-$10,000 in a year versus most retirement accounts. There's so many limits and so many. The best way that you can put large lump sums of money and also access it tax free and still gets a death benefit on top of all of that. That's the beautiful part about it. But yeah, it's sick. Like I said, you have medical expenses.
So many.
Like you just tap into it.
It's crazy. This is a game changer, guys. But uninterrupted compound interest, that's a whole different story. Like Oliver, for you TikTokers that are tapping in,
they know.
You just type infinite banks, you'll go down a rabbit hole just learning about this concept that wealthy people served for wealthy people. You don't have to be a millionaire already to use it, but who knows how you're going to become a millionaire somewhere, tapping into these tools with where you are. So watch some of us on social media, and we've made videos about it. And if you want to learn more, text webinar to 14765. That's our free webinar. It's 15 minutes. You can learn, and then we can set up a one-on-one call with you guys afterwards. After you see that webinar, if you like what you see, we'll book a private one-on-one Zoom call with you where we can actually kind of show you some numbers and see how.
Aaron, this is actually perfect for you. The next one, or this is the last one before I go back. How can we become life insurance agents? And she kind of answered it. Text that webinar.
Oh, yeah.
That's correct, right?
That webinar.
Text webinar.
Text webinar.
Everybody,
easy,
my Instagram went down, so I dropped that. But TikTok, everybody else is here. If you guys are interested in joining the team, if you want to understand how life insurance works and join the team to begin selling it to your family and friends, text webinar. It's not just a webinar for information. It's a webinar to educate yourselves, to ask the questions. Like I have direct access. I'm a client already. So it's like, you guys but if you're afraid to ask live, go ahead and text that. You get a private one-on-one. If you are, have medical conditions and specific things that you feel like can stop you. Actually, let me ask this, because that way you guys can answer it.
Yeah.
Is there any type of condition that would prevent someone from getting life insurance? Is is there anything, and I hate to say specific, but let's say someone has the HIV virus. Is there anything that would prevent, or any type of illness that would prevent you from getting life insurance altogether?
Yeah, there's quite a few. The main ones are anyone who has heart failure, like congestive heart failure, kidney failure, cirrhosis, that type of stuff. I'm not saying it's impossible, but it's very hard to find anybody that covers it. And pretty much is very subjective. So think about like diabetes. You have some people who are fully functional, you have people who are amputees. So it's always case by case. It's insurance companies make money from understanding risk. So KP, right? And I said, hey, there's a casino right down the street, and when you win, lose. But if you lose, this is the catch. If you keep your money, you don't lose it. You don't lose any of your earnings. Like all you can do is win.
I'm gonna live in that casino.
You already know our brother.
That was the worst metaphor to give me specifically, because my followers, they know I love gambling. So don't, I would never do it.
Now, how about this? As much as you love gambling, let's say I gave you some money and there was a win, you didn't earn anything. But if you lost, they gonna take your money as well. Like if there was
that's
no potential winning.
Yeah, that's reverse. That's like, why would I go? That makes no sense. It's like I'm literally
all
going
risk,
to.
all risk, no reward. That's exactly how the insurance companies work. You're young, you're healthy, there's a good chance that you're going to live another 50, 60, 70 years. So we can, boom, that's why we give you the policy at a better rate, because it's very low risk.
Right.
And someone who complications, it's like going to the casino where the odds are stacked against them. So I'm not saying you can't get companies that will put in like waiting clause, like, hey, you got to wait 2 or 3 years. If you pass away you may not get the whole insurance amount. So they do little things like that to offer coverage, but it may not. And that's why it works that way, because it's all about risk. They paid over $100 billion in claims last year. That means you got to know what you're doing when it comes to managing money. So you can't just give everybody a policy because a human right is not entitled. Like, it's still a business. They still have to pay those claims. So
that's the question, though, guys. If you're not, that is something that is very concerning. People don't even try to look into insurance because they think they can't qualify, because a lot of times it's very minimal. Like, I've met with clients that they a call with me and they were like, I just never tried to get insurance before because, and I'm like, okay, tell me more. And I'm expecting them to tell me, I'm on chemo and I have high blood pressure. And I'm like, is it controlled? They're like, yeah, there's no problems, but I have it. Or something like that's so simple that you can definitely get approved, and you could get approved at a standard, who you are and everything else. And it's like, you counted yourself out without even trying. So get on that webinar that we're offering right now, DM us, just ask the question, and we'll say, no, I had to tell somebody the other day, there's nothing we can do for your mom. This is, maybe you could find it elsewhere, but we can't help. But most times we can help. Like, we have worked for one insurance company. We're representing probably 30 different life have different risk tolerances. So while one company might decline a client, a different company colors. So that's the problem where people are trying to shop at just one life insurance coverage. Well, try with us, because we can do our shopping around first for you. We'll find the company that makes sense and has the best rates, the best benefits, but don't count your seeing into it without even asking the question.
Yeah, and I know what you're probably thinking, like, how much is it to book a call with you guys?
Yeah, most people charge a lot of these. They will charge for 20 minutes, to run quotes. Our quotes are free. Or if you don't get on the webinar, like you're not taking your legacy seriously, because you have nothing to lose.
Questions,
guys.
If you guys have any questions, get on that webinar.
Yeah. And I know what people think. Like, how much we apply to the companies is free.
It's free to talk to us. It's free to apply for life insurance. Like,
shoot your shot.
Shoot your shot.
Give it a shot. We'll see. And if we can't, we can't. But like, we get paid for it. So
we got two for. I got two more from TikTok, and then I have one from me. Mine is more toward TikTok and the viewers. You see what they're saying about the health issues. It's harder, not impossible, but harder to get it. So get life insurance now before you get diagnosed with anything. We don't know what could arise. Diabetes is some people are born with it, unfortunately, but a lot of times diabetes is something that grows. It's like you didn't have it 5 years ago and now you have it. So if you got that life insurance 5 years ago, you're good. Now that you have diabetes, fortunately you're covered. But if you wait the 5 years until you get it, like they're telling you, it potentially risks you either getting a very bad policy or not getting a policy when you were healthy 5 years ago. So don't wait. It's like, I don't want to sound like a commercial. Don't wait until it's too late. But seriously, man, it's like, you guys take advantage of this. Specifically you younger people. And again, here's another KP story. When I lived in DC, I was about 17. And I when I tell y'all I cringe at this story, guys, it hurts me. It hurts me because I'm more educated and I know now. When I was 17, my next door neighbor was a life insurance agent, and she was offering me whole life insurance. I actually had a whole life insurance policy for $12 a month.
Brother.
I don't even remember the value. I don't care at this point because it's long gone. But if I would have paid $12 a month at 32, do you guys know how much money I would have? More than the Elevation Academy has made me. Let's put it like that. It really hurt me because $12 a month in compare, like right now, I think the minimum and what I'm looking for is like $300-400 a month. That's a hell of a difference.
Yeah.
$12 to $300 is a hell of a, and I'm not, I don't want to scare you guys. 300 is not normal. I have a nice policy, but it's like, it really hurts me now that I'm educated and now that I understand, credit and life insurance and how money works. It really breaks my heart to know that I had that opportunity. But again, that life insurance agency didn't explain that to me. She was just like, yeah, get life insurance. I know your dad passed, and she kind of touched on that. And you want to make sure when something happens to you, your family, you can give money to your sister, your brothers, and blah blah blah. And I'm like, all right, cool. But I'm 17. By the time I was like 18, I didn't care about like, hey, man, I need my $12. Like, so it really did hurt though, because like I said, man, if I'm still paying $12, boy, I'd be dumping so much unnecessary money into that policy now, and now I have to worry about it because well, Chris explained this to me. As long as I make my minimum monthly, I can dump as much extra money as I want into it.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And that's I was going to touch on that too. So this is how we start somewhere. So ideally, if you really trying to do infinite banking, that was a couple $1,000 a month. If you really trying to max it out, like get as much as you can, start there. So think about how like you buy real estate when you mid-20s, early 30s, you may still be looking at a $1.5 to $2 million house, 10, 12,000 square feet. So with 3,000 or 4,000 square feet for now, build my equity, build some credit, and learn to do the same thing. So you may be saying, Chris, I only got $50, only got $7,500 a month. I don't think $75 is going to turn into millions overnight. It's not, but it does get that you can eventually later put more cash into, and if you are health policies too. So you may just keep that because you got it at a good rate, but you can still buy another policy on cash instead of just sitting it in the bank. And you've been through the process. You kind of know how it goes, and you create a beautiful thing, guys. Start where you're comfortable and always grow into it later.
That would have been, I just did some math in my head. That would have been compounding for 16 years. Like, regardless of the number, compounding for 16 years, it would have been, Jesus, let's move to the next subject. I'm hurt. But so this one was from TikTok. It says, if I get life insurance for my kid, how long do I have to pay their insurance?
That's good.
Okay. Well, that weird to me, but yeah, you guys can answer.
No, that's good. That it depends. You can set it up so that there are premiums forever. You can set it up for a certain amount of time. We got her life insurance. She's 9 now. I can't believe it, but we got it for her with cash value life insurance when she was 5 years old, and it's structured so she's 18, and it's not saying that they can't put more money into it after she's 18. She's an adult. She very well can, but they don't have to. They're not obligated. So we can you want for your kid. Maybe you want to start it off maybe $10 a month, like KP was saying, $12, to make sure that they're covered. They have a start, and then you cut that off at they pull it back up when they're in their career, 23, 24, 25, and they put 100. We can help you. You have to get with a professional. So get onto our webinar to learn a little, and then afterwards, let's get on a one-on-one call together so we can show you how to structure it.
Yeah, flexible. So you could literally pay one premium. You might say, I got $20,000 and be done for the rest of her life. So it's up to you. You can do it.
That's why I'm so hurt.
Annually, monthly.
That thing would have been paid off.
Oh my gosh.
I would have been, oh my goodness. I wouldn't even have. Well, let's do this. Let's say this. My following, the people that I've taught, mentees, everybody, you guys, let's just say you guys are lucky that I didn't, because if I would have had that money now, I probably wouldn't have been with the KP that I am now. I would have been like, man, I'm rich.
We would have been alive with you.
I got a $3 million life insurance policy. That thing skyrocketed, man. I ain't talking, y'all. But yeah, man, jokes aside, it's very important. I won't say I dodged the bullet. I did the exact opposite. I jumped in front of the bullet, and kind of hurt myself very, very bad. I didn't get my policy till I was 32. That's 17 and 32 that's a 15-year gap. That is a significant price difference. And the cops can explain it more in depth when you guys get on the call with them. But I just can tell you from experience, I will never, I don't care what life insurance policies they have out there. I'll say probably, I don't know what kind of magic they can work, but I'll probably never get a policy at $12 a month being 33, unless I get something like super dirt cheap. I see Chris's face like, yeah, I'm about to work something.
I get
about 5,000
I
in
could
coverage.
about 5,000 for 2 years.
So it's like, so guys, please jump on this. The webinar is free. The consultation is free. You're not obligated to sign up. You are not obligated to buy anything, but at least talk to them. They might say a number that you're surprised, and you might just come to find out like, damn, I didn't know I could get this much policy for that little amount. And I tell you, listen, and this is nothing against Erica. I love them both equally, but I've had my experiences with Chris. This dude is going to talk y'all into investing and how you can grow it and all these other things. That's my boy, man. I know Erica knows. I see Erica live on her IG and TikTok and all the things. I know she knows it too, but my personal experience was with Chris. This dude got me on another level, man. I'm ready.
Yeah, it's super important. So I know some people, like I was telling about the Infinite Bank, and you may be saying, "Oh, have $100, I'll have 1,000." He'll encourage you to book the call, start where you can, but two, let's talk about it, because it works is when you want something, you find a way to go get it. So we literally have clients who about to look like, and that's saying I can't afford that, but next year, 6 months from now, I'll be able to do it. So game plan, see how it works, what you need to do. Let's chat, because I can lay out a blue, whether you're there or not. Now we can find ways to possibly help you get there. That's why we offer you get license, because like KP said earlier, you may have family, friends, people in your circle who need this information. We love referrals. We like everybody else. That's how we grow our business. But if you get licensed, that's your referral. That's making some money. So that could be what helps you actually fund your policy. So yes, book a call. Let's talk. You need to be, and also try to find some ways that we can help you make some extra money to get you there sooner, not later.
Shanice is here from the internet beyond. She said, do insurers care about a felony conviction?
Recent it was and what it was for. So everything's case by case. Background, concerns approved, and we've also approved, but ask the question. Meet with us. Let's talk about it. It's free to apply. You can do some digging with the insurance companies on your behalf, even before applying, and but it just depends.
Yeah, and just to give you some value, typically 5 to 10 years open and pending, or it's been within 5 years. 10 years is usually the sweet spot. You've been an outstanding citizen. You haven't had really any run-ins. After that, usually, if it's within 5 to 10 years, it's kind of the gray area. So in this case, like I said, if you talk to us, we can always send information in to see what they say and try to go from there.
Pretty much, no mass murderers. If y'all just out here murdering people, don't, please don't.
Yeah,
but yeah. I'm joking, guys. Hopefully, I don't have any mass murderers follow me. I'm hoping not. Listen, if y'all are, I did not mean that. It was a joke.
You're getting blocked.
You got another one. She said, can you be denied for life insurance if you recently filed bankruptcy?
Yes, you can be denied.
Hey, listen, that's all you need to say. Now, you don't even have to go in debt, because this is the reason why I'm glad she asked that is because a lot of times, and this is going to the credit world also, a lot of people think that the bankruptcy is like the get out of debt free card. And it hurts you in so many more ways than you think it helps you. It's like, I'm just not going to pay all these debts. I'll file bankruptcy. Look at just Chris's no. adds on to all the no's that I give you guys all the time. Now you can't get credit cards, you can't open bank accounts, you can't get life insurance. You wanting to file that bankruptcy thinking that you're getting out of debt is putting a huge red flag on the rest of your life. Well, almost to the rest of your life, about 10 years. But who wants to just have 10 years of nothing? Like, don't bankruptcy's not the way.
Yeah.
No, sorry.
No, you said it right. It's a red flag. So
Yeah.
it's not. It's not that you can't get approved. It is a red flag. So it's a risk. Why would I think you're gonna pay me? Because when your car is getting repo, your house getting repo, you care about it more than your life insurance in most cases. So my bill is gonna be the first one to go. Now, if you have a good reason, sometimes it's business, bankruptcy, and all that type of stuff, it can happen. You probably will not be getting like no infinite banking. They're not gonna let you dump a couple $100. It's $40-$50 that you may maintain just to make sure you have coverage. But like you said, it's
there you go. This one was from I think TikTok. I wrote it down. I think this goes back to Erica. It was sitting here for a while. It says, do you match policies? I think when you were saying you guys shop around, I know this isn't Walmart, but do you match policies?
Match.
Is that even a thing? I guess let's say I come from another insurance broker or insurance company, and I come to you guys. Would you be able to see what I currently have to match it, or how does that work?
So you guys have to understand the nature of life insurance, how we've been talking about. It depends on the factors that go into your price for life insurance are heavily dependent upon your conditions and your background. So those are three conditions that change over time, especially could change from today to tomorrow because you're another day older. Right. So we can't you're trying to, it's not a product like that. But we can figure if you say, hey, I've got this much insurance over here and I pay this, we can look up in our system. And you might be older, so it just depends. Like I said, shoot your shot, ask you some things and compare. A big part about what we do is help people save money. We've met with clients that they've had a policy at a different company for even a couple of years. Like, I got this is how much I pay for this much coverage. And we ran a quote in our system and they could get the same amount of coverage. You're 5 years older, but you're getting, so imagine how much cheaper it would have been if you just started with us 5 years ago type thing. Yeah. So they're like mind blown. They're like, dang, they're getting over on me over there. I'm switching. We can help you switch your policy or just get you additional coverage. Maybe you're not interested in CAV, which I don't suggest canceling policies. If you got approved for it, keep it. Just keep adding more. Never have too much insurance. But yeah, we can match we can find your budget.
We compare. So there's sometimes we get people who maybe you already have insurance. I don't know the case. Get it and run apples to apples comparisons. And one of our good friends, she always tells us stuff. And I told her like, hey, this is what you have is the best. Like, just keep it. I mean, you got it in a good. There's nothing I can do. If you want to add more to it, great. But that right there, I would never change that. So if you're someone to compare options to see if this is better, that's better, or term this or that, we can take a look. Like just matching something from 5-6 years ago, we can't do that. But
yeah, like there will be some agents that you guys meet that are just going to say cancel because it's like we're not that type of agent. Like we operate with high morals and principles, so we're going to look at what you have, and like Chris said, if it makes sense, it's like it ain't broke, don't fix it. So we'll tell you straight up, like that's a good policy. Like I'm running numbers on my right, like that's good. Keep it. If you want extra, let's talk about it, but don't cancel that and switch over to us. You need. Yeah. So we will give you an unbiased opinion.
Yeah. Now, as far as that's comparing, I don't know if this is the question either, but as a broker, we work with multiple companies. So some Some are really good at whole life. Some are really good at IULs. And what happens is when you work with naming names, but let's say you work with Allstate. I don't even know if they do. Allstate may be good at one thing. They may be good at term, and you may go to Allstate and say, well, just because they want to make the money, but they know very well that they're not the best. So with us being a broker, you tell us what it is that you want, and when we say shop around, we make the most sense for that, and then get you partnered with them.
Yeah, we would never knock a thing. But what I will say is, if you are shopping for life insurance, I'm going to one company. I would encourage you to go to a broker. It doesn't go to a broker that is going to run quotes in multiple different companies, because I got in this live today and you learned about the infinite banking concept, and you're like, man, I want to be like $400,000 a month in my policy. I want to be rich. And then you go to a company sell term life insurance. They do not sell any type of permanent policies. What do you think they're going to tell you? They can't sell you permanent, and they don't want to lose the sale, knocking the cash value life insurance. They're going to say that's bad, and they're going to try to convince you to buy a term, which is what you don't even want. However, if you come, because that's what's going to happen if you go to certain companies. So when you come to a broker like us and you tell us, I'm not going to fight you on it. I want permanent. Great. I want to do infinite banking. Great. Do whatever you want to do. And if it makes sense for you, we're going to show you all the options so you could make an else, but we're not going to push you into one way or another. Just, we don't have to do that because we offer everything.
So we started this call out, what's the best type of insurance? And we can end it with whatever you keep. Because like I got some people who only want term, and I'd be a fool trying to, some people say, I'll never buy term. And therefore I give it to them. Like, get what you want, get what you want.
We're not going to try to make you do anything that you don't want to do or that doesn't make sense for you.
The beauty of that, guys, and I'll use me again, is they'll present you multiple options. So like Erica was saying, it's not like when you get on the call with them, it's not like they're going to say, all right, you're 32, you're a smoker, this is the only insurance we're going to give you. No, it's let us know what you want. We'll go look for it, and then we'll come back with 3 or 4 options. Like, hey, listen, it'll be this much a month for this type of policy, this much a month for that type of policy, and you guys can choose. And if you have questions like I did, ask the questions. Okay, listen, if I paid $100 a month for that policy, what can I do with it? Nothing but die. You know, and I'm being straightforward. You know, it's certain policies, but with other policies. But listen, KP, if you get this type of policy for $250 a month instead, then you can dump more money into it and do XYZ. So it's like they'll explain these things to you guys. So don't just feel like, you know, you're getting pushed into the corner, because that won't be the case. Like Erica was saying, I haven't dealt with this, but some insurance, I guess, companies, if they only offer one thing, that's all they can teach. That's all they can talk to you about. They're not even going to explain the other things, because why would I go to a car dealership trying to buy a motorcycle? They're selling cars. Like, they don't care about motorcycles. So it's like, let's get you in this Corvette. It's just as fast as their Harley Davidson. I want a motorcycle. Why are you trying to sell me a Corvette? Because that's all we sell. Like, you want a Suburban? You want a Porsche? Like, I sell cars, bro. You know, so it's like,
that's real.
You know, let's make sure you guys get that understanding. Don't be afraid. I tell you that all the time. That's one of the biggest things. And this is kind of catered to entrepreneurs, but you're letting fear stop you from being great. Asking a question, the worst thing they can do is say no. They're not going to jump through that phone. They're not going to jump on the Zoom and smack you. They're not going to bite you. If you don't like what you hear, I'm not saying be disrespectful, but just get off the call. It's not hurting you. It doesn't cost you anything. Ask questions. You'll be surprised. It's a lot of good information out there that you can get from just asking questions. So I got 2 more of the, well, actually I got 3. We've been rolling, y'all. We already an hour over. I got 3 questions left. I got 2 more from TikTok, and then my 3 personals. So I'll get to it. If you guys have more questions, keep sending them. I'll keep writing them down and asking them for you. Let me ask mine, and then I'll jump to the TikTok one because look, they are blowing me out the water. How can I create a tax-free retirement income stream?
So it's the income it's been explaining. If you put money into this index universal life insurance and IUL policy for the life insurance, part of it goes into a separate account that's getting credited interest based on performance. But the catch is you can only make money, you can never lose money. So instead of putting your money in the money, but you could also lose everything. If you put money into this life insurance, not only do you get life insurance, but you also have a savings account that can only go up and never go down. And the money value account is tax free. So you're creating an income for yourself and when you take it out, you don't have to pay taxes on that money that you're going to use to put a down payment, buy a car, send your kid to college, travel the world, retire, have whatever you use that money for, it's yours and it avoids taxes. So that you can win at life insurance cash value. So get on our webinar so you can learn more about our to 346-701-4765 right now. The spot, I can already see a bunch of notifications on my phone. So make sure you guys secure your spot. We'll talk more about it.
Got it. All right. So we got that 3. I'll jump back to TikTok. So it says, if I have multiple policies, what happens when I die? It's crazy. We're talking about life insurance, but the question seems so awkward.
I know, right? People always, they see when we make decent money insurance, and they're like, why most people don't? We talk about death. It's morbid. But yeah, if you got multiple policies, they all pay out. You can have multiple insurance. So this is a beautiful thing. It's a way to create family. Now, what I recommend, this wasn't part of the question, but I recommend that you consolidate 3 policies. Make sure you have the policy numbers. Make sure you know which companies they're with.
Oh, that's good.
Coverages, because when we got started selling insurance, like for me specifically, I went back home and my cousins and everybody had insurance, but when I asked them what companies with, I don't know.
Who's your agent?
I was covered. And so what happens is when there's a funeral, there's like hundreds of millions of dollars that go unpaid every year just because people don't file a claim.
Because they don't know. Your mom has been paying her life insurance for her entire life. She dies and you don't get anything. Like she's been paying on it since last month and she just passed away today. And you're not going to get anything just insurance company your mom uses. What? That's crazy to me. We're really.
You just gave me another question.
What?
Real talk. Like I'm
all of y'all that don't know who the beneficiary is.
I'm in this industry. My dad had kidney failure. He passed, and he had a policy way before I got in the industry. So I had nothing to do with that. But in the event we couldn't find the policy.
We couldn't find nothing.
We couldn't find anything. So he had like a burial policy. We were at the funeral home and they're like, okay, total $15,000. So you still got $7,000-8,000 bill. It was my mom. We all looking at each other and who make the most money? Chris and Erica. So they're like, you put $6,000-7,000 up right now. And we had to do that for my dad. Now obviously my dad's into it. But we couldn't buy the policy. And eventually we were able to get money back. But yes, I'm an agent. You would think I know all this stuff. I didn't either. I never
adamant with our clients. Like, we're not trying to get up all in your business and everything. Policy from us, we need to know your beneficiary and we need to know your emergency. You need to put us in a group text message with them so that they know who to call when you pass away sick. Because if they don't know who to call, they might not even know. Some of y'all get life insurance. You don't even know that they're your beneficiary, that they're entitled to something. You pass away. Like, you got to have those conversations. Hey, look, cousin. Hey, look, godmother. You're my beneficiary. Chris and Erica Cobb. These are their phone numbers to me. You call them. They're going to file the claim for you. They're going to take care of it. Like, you got to introduce your context to your agent so that they can take care of that money.
Yeah,
for
do
you.
that right away, because
Now.
do that ASAP. It is not
Today.
not just because of if somebody may pass away, but critical chronic stuff. So let's say somebody had a stroke or heart attack, and they're like incapacitated.
Would even
So
tell you who we are at that
correct.
point.
Like it may have a stroke and they just never know what could happen. So like please get them in contact what it covers. So it may not just be death, it may be some type of sickness, and like I said, for whatever reason they did it. But you know what it covers. They have your information, they can get your contact, because in that urgency can save your life. Literally, we had somebody 2 years ago who just had a stroke. He pretty much lost everything. Young guy, mid-30s, breadwinner of the family. But boom, in an instance, he got to tap into over $100,000. Got a check for like 180. Worked in like a year and a half, 2 years, and he's still recovering. And mentally and everything, he's back now. But that's life, because it gave him extra money to go have surgery and take care of some of the medical expenses.
Yeah.
So I know we like sound weird and whatever, but it's urgency, guys.
I got another one. We covered it, but they, when people come in, what is a universal insurance plan compared to a whole life insurance plan?
Gotcha. So whole life, they're both permanent insurance policies, which you pay your premium, you're gonna have it for the day you die. So you don't have to worry about it expiring like term. The older version of permanent insurance, and the advantage to whole life is that premiums never.
You're sideways. We can't hear you, Chris. So you guys turned sideways and the audio went out. All right, you're back up, but we can't hear anything. If someone called, you got to leave and come back. I don't know why it does that. Did somebody call? I'm not sure. Like Chris was talking and then the audio just went out. So we can see you now. I can't hear it. But leave and come back. Yeah, leave and come back. See if it works. All right, just quick technical difficulties, guys. We're getting good questions. User 37471, you just some numbers. Let me know if that was good, if his explanation was good. They're back now. But let me know if that was good, or if you want to go more in depth. While we do that, can you guys talk? No, I don't hear anything. We see you, but I don't hear it. Is it me? No, it's not me. I heard the tune when you came in. Shoot. We got our first technical difficulty. I thought I was gonna be technical difficulty free without Shanice, man. I'm trying to think. What can I do? See if there's a now the visual's gone. I was gonna say, see if there is a mute button or a mute or unmute button. Is there a button that says mute or unmute? Not sure. But if you all have questions while we handle this, go ahead and ask. User, it's a bunch of numbers. So if that wasn't good, let me know. I'll touch back on it. I'll ask it again while we're having these issues. We were doing good, guys. We were here for about an hour and 15 minutes. I didn't expect to go this far without my partner here. We laughing and joking and stuff, but here we are. Cobbs, I see a black screen. I don't hear any audio or visual. It's just a black screen. Like the camera, I don't even think the camera's connected. Oh, they're gone again. They'll come back. They will come back. There we go. It's still a black screen though. Can we go more in depth, because I heard they're both good. Okay, cool. Once I can get them back on camera, I'll ask again and I'll see if they can go in more depth. We're trying to fix their audio issues. They kind of lagged out. Diana, I got your question up here. I don't know if you're still here or not. I've been trying to get to get life insurance on a family member and keep getting denied because of their background. Oh, I was touching on what Shanice had asked. I don't know what to do at this point. Is there a such thing as burial life insurance? That's really all I care about. Hey Diana, if you can, or while we're having these technical difficulties, in the event that they don't come back, text webinar to that number there. You guys can reach out to the Cobbs directly. So I don't have the life insurance answers, guys, but user 3747, it's a bunch of numbers. If you can text webinar to that number, it's no cost. You get a free consultation with them. They can answer that question directly. If they come back, I'll get the answer for you. If not, text that number. Diana, you too, because I won't know how to answer it. I don't want to give you guys any false information. But everybody that has any additional questions that weren't answered, feel free to text that number, guys. Tap in with them. I'll give them like another 5 to 10 minutes to see if we can fix it. If not, we can close out. All right, we can see, but not hear. Yeah, we can see. Maybe can you join from Chris' phone? I sent the link to the group chat. Can you hear me? I'm not even sure if they can hear me. Let me type to them. Give me 1 second, everybody. See if they can hear me. Diana said, cool, I'll text them. Cool. All right, yeah, Diana. In the event that I can get them, they're back here visually. It says completely close out of Facebook and get back in. Diana said close out of, I don't think they're on Facebook, but it was doing me the same way. Erica, see if you can close out of it completely. Close out of it. Oh, wait, I can't hear you now. Oh, shoot. They can't hear me. Diana can hear me because she's responding to me. Okay, let me see. Close out of. See if she can try that. All right, yeah, Diana says she can hear me. So, yeah, see if you can close out of all the apps and then come back. All right. So again, sorry for the technical difficulties. We were doing great, man. What's Wake Up Wednesday without technical difficulties, right? Oh, I'll tell you here, he can hear me. He can hear me. All right. It wouldn't be Wake Up Wednesday if we didn't have technical difficulties, right? We were doing good for over an hour. I got 1, 2. I have 4 more questions. Actually, I have 5 because
Back?
There we go. Boom, we can hear you. We're good.
Okay, cool.
Whatever you guys did, don't do it again.
That was weird. Nothing happened. I don't know what happened. Sorry for leaving you hanging, brother. We had some good questions coming up.
I was gonna say, I was telling people to text in. I was telling them I don't know anything about life insurance. text that number. But we're here. Let me go back. So the user, because Chris, you had started and that's when your voice went out. So we really didn't hear the answer at all. I'll ask it again. It says, can we go more out? It was a 2-part because he followed up, or they followed up. Okay. Can we go more in depth because I heard they're both good? And then he said, oh, no, you know what? TikTok is so weird. It says, do you know about using whole life insurance and universal insurance for investing? And then the follow-up was, can you go a little in depth because I heard they were both good? So yeah. Again, you don't have to go crazy in depth. That's what the text number is for. But if you can give them a little insight on it.
Absolutely. I'm going to give you advantages and disadvantages. So I'll give you a little history too. Whole life has been around for a couple hundred years. So it's nothing new. It's the first form of permanent insurance where if you pass away tomorrow or 50 years, 100 years from now, your family's still going to get the money. So that's the main benefit, that the insurance never expires. Now, the advantage to whole life is that it is usually fixed interest. So every year you kind of know what you're going to make. And the interest could be 3, 4, 5%, but it's fixed. So you're guaranteed to make some money no matter what the market does. And also with whole life, traditionally, if you're looking at getting cash value, like putting your money into a policy and then taking it right out within 30 days, whole life usually gives you more short-term benefits where you can access it quicker. So that's it. Now, the disadvantage of whole life, it is fixed. So like I said, if you're getting 3 or 4% interest, the market goes up 9, 10%, you missed out on 6, 7%. So you didn't make as much as you could. And two, a whole life, when you pass away, typically your family only gets the death benefit. They only get the insurance. They don't get the insurance plus the cash. So that's whole life. If you think it's short term, if you need money right away, and if you like guarantees, it makes sense. Now the other one is universal life, and it's basically was birth. It's basically whole life, but improved. You know, think about the iPhone 1 versus iPhone 14. It's the same phone, but there's so many more functions, there's so many more apps, there's so many more uses, and that's how universal life works. Now, the advantage with universal life, index universal life, is that you can get policies that have literally no cap. And I'm no cap to you. I ain't lying. Like, no cap. You can make as much money. So last year, my policy did almost 10%. So you can make a lot more money. But the disadvantages with IULs and universal life is that the floor is 0%. So years like this year, when the market's doing terrible, only made 1 or 2%. So sometimes people like the guarantee with whole life because you're guaranteed to make some money. But with universal life, if it's structured correctly, you're never going to lose anything. But you just might not make anything in down years. So that's the disadvantages. You're not guaranteed to make anything. No guarantee to it. But also, it's not so much for short term. So universal life, if you plan on borrowing against it, if you're overfunding it and putting enough money into it, it can function very similar to whole life where you have access right away. But primarily, that's not what most people use it for. They're thinking 7 to 10 years down the road. So if you're looking for a way to just pay your bills and have transactions come in and out every single month, whole life may be a better fit. If you're thinking more long-term, like tax-free retirement, and you want to get more bang for your buck, we recommend IULs, Index Universal Life. And I think they're both awesome. Personally, I like the idea you get more bang for your buck with IULs. You have a higher ceiling. So that's what I typically kind of lean towards when it comes to infinite banking. But again, if somebody prefers whole life and that's what they want, by all means, I'll give it to you. So hopefully that answers your question.
Yeah, look, I was about to say, I told him not to go in depth, and he gave y'all gems. So
Yes.
all right. Cool. So we got that. That one, that person's name was like user. It's like one of those TikTok generated names. So if that was good enough, that's your answer. If you are looking for more of an answer, go ahead and text webinar to that number, guys. Like I said, we want to make sure we get to everybody. We are at the 1.5 hour mark, so we only got about 30 minutes left. I still got like 4 more questions, so I want to make sure everybody's getting answered. All right, so let's go. The next one says, I feel like I asked this. No, it's a little bit different. If I took money out of well, it just says, all right, let me read it how they wrote it, and then we can interpret it. If I took money out and die, what happens to the policy? I'm guessing, is that the perm one? Which one can you take money out of to touch?
Yeah, absolutely. It's permanent. So it's like whole life IULs. And if you just borrow the money, your family still gets the insurance. So all you're doing is borrowing your cash value. So you have cash value and insurance. And so however much cash you use, just subtract that from the balance, and whatever's left, your family's going to get the insurance plus the rest of the cash. So yes, it's meant to be used. It's meant to be utilized while you're still alive. So don't think that you're like messing up the policy or canceling it just by using cash. Now, let's say you had $100,000 in cash value and you took all 100,000 out, then yeah, you're surrendering the policy. So as long as you don't take everything out, you're good. You're going to still have your life insurance, and it's still growing. The cash value is still growing uninterrupted. So yes, it's not a bait and switch. It's not one of those dangling a carrot where it's like, oh, I'm telling you all this stuff, but you really can't use it.
Yeah.
No, it's meant to be used, actually.
Look, when you said it, I was kind of hoping that that's how it was. I didn't know myself, but that's good. You pretty much the money that you take out will just get deducted because it's like, hey, look, we already gave KP 50,000. You know what I'm saying? We ain't covering all of that. My man had fun before he died.
Yeah. That's it. So I mean, it's literally you being your own bank because it's your asset and you own it. That's it. I mean, like usually you go to banks to borrow and ask for their permission and to borrow this stuff. Is you just borrowing from yourself. You create the asset, and that's what you want because you don't have to do a credit check. You don't have to do a background check, and because you're borrowing from yourself, now it's tax free because you're borrowing it. But also, like with some of these companies, like I was saying with IULs, a lot of these companies, once you borrow after 10 years, is 0% interest.
Yeah.
The only reason you say borrow is because that's how you get it tax free. We don't pay income taxes on loans. So you just borrowing it, but you're not really borrowing it and then paying anybody else back.
I think that's why that 100K the 100K investment, I think that's why it's so much more, it has so much more value, because you're not borrowing 100K from the bank. You're borrowing 100K. Well, you're not getting loaned 100K. You're borrowing 100K from yourself.
Correct.
Just like you'd have to pay the bank back, you're just paying yourself back, except there's no interest. And that's the beauty of it, guys. Y'all don't understand. $100,000, even if a bank was only charging you 3% interest on $100,000, that's $3,000.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And then you got to remember, it's going to take you years to pay back that 3%, because you're probably only paying the minimum dues or whatever. That is going to keep going up and keep going up. Your monthlies are going to keep going up. So where it's a $3,000 total, but you spread it over 5 years, that could end up being over $20,000 of interest paid back, instead of paying it back over 5 years to yourself with literally nothing tacked onto that. But like Chris said, your policy keeps growing. It took me 5 years to pay back $100,000 of my own money, but once I paid it back, it was worth more than $100,000. Like the gems are mind blowing. Yeah, it's mind blowing, guys. So please type it. You're welcome. You're welcome. All right, so
that's a good point. Like, for somebody who's trying to understand compound interest, and maybe if you've ever been in credit card debt, you get this. Like, you pay the minimum and you're thinking like, oh, I'm getting out the hole, but every month the balance still grows. You're like, what the hell is happening? Now imagine you borrowing money from yourself and you pay yourself back in 5 years down the road. You're like, what the hell happened, in a good way?
Yeah,
like, I borrowed 100,000 and I came back, it was 130.
Right.
That's how it works. Like, compound interest works both ways. It can work against you and work for you.
You like, yeah, I finally paid it back. That's like getting a bonus check. It's like, all right, listen, I'll let you give yourself 100K, and when you pay yourself back the 100K, I'll make it 150. Yeah. You know, like, wait, what? For all of that shit, I won't even spend it. I'll just put it on auto pay. Yeah, I'll make it pay itself back. But that's for the mentorship. Listen, we going too crazy. These are tips and tricks that we charge for. The comments, I'm trying to get them acclimated. We love it.
Mentorship, y'all.
Yeah,
if you don't have it, get it, because this guy knows a lot. He researches a lot. He interviews a lot of people. So it's not cookie cutter game. So we all, trust me, go on YouTube.
Tap into KP's mentorship, y'all.
Yeah, go on YouTube and learn some of this stuff. I will say that. Get the basics. But when it's time to really go in and change your life, get the mentorship. Because I promise you, a couple of days, a couple of conversations with him is going to change everything for the rest of your life.
Yes.
So, like, go, if you got the money in a good place, go ahead and get it done.
We can actually skip this one. We've been talking about this literally the entire time. So is it possible to use my life insurance money while I'm alive? Yes. We'll just give you a simple answer. Chris has answered it
back.
12 times already. It is.
Yes.
This is my last one, and then we'll cap it off with everybody else's. So my last one is, do I need a certain degree to become a life insurance agent? If KP wanted to join the children agency, do I need to go to college?
No, that's the best part about it. You don't even need to go to high school. Like, you don't need anything, guys. You have to be 18 years old because you have to get licensed through the state. But I mean, we know millionaires that sell life insurance that are high school dropouts. Plenty of college dropouts, but high school freaking dropouts don't even have a diploma, don't have a GED, and they're making millions.
We're not promoting dropping out of high school.
Yeah, we're not promoting dropping out, but
make sure always give the disclaimer when you say stuff like that. Be like, hey, listen, we're not promoting it.
We don't promote dropping out.
A 15-year-old to be like, man, I'm about to sell life
insurance. No. That's not how it works. You don't drop out and become a millionaire. But don't feel like an ultimate failure. Like you have no options because you did drop out. Because maybe you're, 25, you're 30, you didn't finish high school, you dropped out of college, whatever. Like, we don't condone it. But I'm a college graduate. I went to Purdue University. My husband went to University of Georgia. But don't feel like a complete failure, because that's sometimes how society labels people. Oh, they look down on people that don't have certain degrees and diplomas and pedigrees and everything like that. You can get your life insurance license through the state. They will run a background check on you. So you do need to make sure you don't have any open and active felonies, misdemeanors, bankruptcies, and tax liens. So back to the credit talk, the bankruptcy comes back around. But if you're cool there, it takes a couple days to study for the test. I got my life insurance license in 4 days. The agents that come into our mentorship, they're doing it faster. They're getting it in 2 days. I think the record in our agency is like 24 hours. They got their license. So
he was preparing before he even signed up.
Right. He was ready. Yeah, so it's very easy. You don't need a degree. You don't need any experience. We train you A to Z. We have weekly live mentorships. We have a group chat, a group, community where we're talking in there every day, giving advice on how to market, how to do this. We have an internship type program where maybe you're brand new, you don't have experience, or maybe you're already a licensed agent and you just want, some mentorship. You can shadow Chris and I as we're actually talking to clients in real life and, see how that goes. So you can kind of get your own bearings towards doing your own presentations and everything else.
Yeah. And so, like you said, we both college.
Look, they get ready to sell me. I'm about to text, but
and what's crazy is this: I graduated from UGA. I had $70,000 in student loans. My life insurance license in the state of Georgia was like $200. So most states is anywhere from $100 to $200. It's not super expensive. Like Erica said, most of our people are getting the license within a week, 2 weeks max. It's online studying, so it's not very cumbersome. It's not hard at all. Now, the hustle is sold separately. You got to get out here and market. You got to actually care for people. That's where the money's made. But getting the license is very simple to do, guys. It's very easy to do. You can do it within a couple. You'll be licensed by 2023.
I'm going to give you a slogan for your college, for your people that's debating college or life insurance. I want you to say, do you want to be educated with a degree or educated with 2 commas? And then let them choose.
Period.
That's what it comes down to. It's like you just said, why would I want to be educated but owe 100,000 when I could be educated and make over 100,000?
Period.
So and I've never went to college. I've never been a college, college scientist or had my doctorates and none of that stuff. But I know, and I'm not gloating or anything, but I know that I make more money than a lot of my peers that have went to college. So college is not the only way. Way back in the 90s, maybe when I was in elementary school, they're like elementary, middle, high school, college. And become and I'm not saying, I know plenty of people that went to college that are millionaires. It just depends on the industry and what you get yourself into, but that's not the only way. Don't feel like if you guys don't go to college you can't be successful. There are plenty of industries where you can become a millionaire. Or not even just, the goal shouldn't just be a millionaire. The goal should just be educated and wealthy and financially literate to live a good lifestyle. Like I can have $200,000-$300,000 in the bank and have a very healthy lifestyle and not be a millionaire. You don't have to be a millionaire to be good. As long as I'm not living paycheck to paycheck,
yes,
green light. That's my green light.
Yep. 100%. We always tell people we have an MBA. We don't have a master's business administration. We don't have that type of MBA, but we have a major bank account. Okay. Yeah. And so we have a different type of MBA.
Diana, I missed this one. This was like, I think 10 minutes ago. Which policy are we talking about borrowing from? Sorry, I missed it. Which policy can you borrow from?
It could be whole life, index, universal life, universal life. So those are the 3.
Any type of permanent cash value policy.
Gotcha. This was old. I actually had to scroll back. I know I missed one. How can I find out a policy? Maybe I wrote it wrong. I hope they didn't write it like this. How can I find out a family member's policy? I remember you guys were talking about not knowing the policies. How can you find a family member's policy?
So as far as I know, I don't think there's any like database where you can just type in the social. Just have the conversation. So one is get with your close family and friends. Do you have life insurance? I'm thinking about planning. I just want to make sure everything's in order. Do you have it? And then say they do, who is it with and what coverage? And then call the company. Because if you call the company, they should be able to look the social up or find some way to identify it. And it's not like a clean process all the time. Like I said, I wish it was just a normal website. You could type everything in. You may have to do some digging. But when it comes to legacies and tens of thousands, $100,000, once you do it one time, it may take you a couple minutes, may take you an hour. But once you do it one time, you got it for life. So keep that stuff organized.
Listen, if you telling me my mom got anything over $100,000, I'm finding that policy.
I'm finding it. I'm looking.
I skipped Diana's. She had typed this when you guys were having the issues. Let me start at the beginning. She had a couple. All right, right here. So I've been trying to get life insurance on a family member, and they keep getting denied because of their background. So I told her to text the webinar number to. I guess you guys would need more details. I don't want to put their personal stuff on the live. So TikTok, if this is a situation you guys are in as well, if you have anything that's personal that you guys don't want, obviously we don't want all these random it's probably thousands of people watching this. Text the number, guys. It's free. Just text the number. Get your personal questions answered on a one-on-one versus asking on the live. The second thing, sorry, Chris, go ahead. I'll ask.
I was just gonna say, when you finish the webinar, it'll give you an option to book a time with us. So if you got personal questions, like you said, it is case by case. So like book a time with us and we can talk about it and do some research and see what we can find. Okay.
And then her second one was, I don't know what to do at this point. Is there a such thing as just burial insurance? That's really all I care about, ATP.
Yeah. So there's different options. Get on our webinar and then book a time with us. But there's simple burial insurance, maybe. So what we have suggested in the past to like people that we just have not been successful finding life insurance or burial insurance for, very few people, I could count it on one hand. But in those scenarios, I encourage them to go to a local funeral home and get a pre-plan, like start paying in advance on your plot. So like maybe you can sign a deal with the funeral home. Hey, this is going to be $7,500. And instead of paying $50 a month to a life insurance company, start paying $50 a month now to that funeral home. So whenever that time comes, everything's already taken care of. They might have something that they could do that way too.
Yeah, and there's a policy call.
I did not know you could do that. Like, as you're saying it, my brain is just like, what the heck? I did not know you could do that.
Yeah, there's a plan called Final Expense.
I think Chris's dad had that type of thing that I was talking about.
Yeah, that's because he had like $6,000-$7,000 down. He had already been to the funeral home, so he had already bought the plot and everything. But there's a policy called Final Expense. It's a whole life policy. And all it is meant to pay final expenses. That's where it comes from. So like a funeral, burial, and typically those policies are 10, 15, 20,000 in coverage. So it's not like you're going to get rich off of it. But if you got aging parents, or maybe you got aging grandparents, and you're thinking like, dang, if something happens to them, I know they said they got it or they don't have it, but if something happens to them, it's going to fall back on me. You may want to consider getting one of those policies for your parents, because think about it. You may be paying 50, 60, 70 bucks a month. But I think that's easier than paying $15,000 to $20,000 in a moment.
Yeah.
So like we have a lot of people who say, you know what, not trying to get rich off mom, but I do want to make sure I got at least $15,000. So if something happens, we got that covered. So yes, you can get just burial insurance. That's very wise. Anybody who's thinking about doing that, you got parents, grandparents, siblings, go for it, because it makes a lot of sense. And I've been in that situation where I'm paying for a funeral and it's not pretty.
I was surprised. I looked at our calendar yesterday, and just this week, I don't know what's going around, but this week we have like 20 or 30 calls on our calendar with people just wanting to learn about burial life insurance for their parents. They're like, hey, me and my siblings each want to put $20 a month in on my mom's policy, because if she passes away, we don't want to come out of pocket 20 grand. Like a lot of people are getting policies on their parents, and I suggest you do that 100%. It's very affordable. And like Chris said, it's way easier to pay $50 a month than, $20,000 in a week.
Yeah. And this is kind of unrelated. I just got to give you game because KP, I know he's all about the information. Wealthy people do something called group economics. So they always pool their money together to buy assets and resources. So I know sometimes with siblings, you got one who's more responsible. Not, I understand. But if you got a group of people who thinking like you, and you all pulling together, put 50, 60 bucks a month, now you may go from getting 10 or 15,000 to getting like 50,000. So that's how wealthy people think. They're always trying to pool assets together to leverage it so that when stuff happens, you know, we all benefit from it.
We've known people to get, of course, it depends on health and age and everything, but we've known siblings to come together and get $1 million, $2 million policy on their mom, on their dad, and they each put in $200 a month, $300 a month, whatever it is, but they're guaranteed to get $1 million. Like, that's so smart, and they have the cash value building. Like, it's crazy. So whatever you do, whether you put $20 or $200, get something for your parents. You do not want that day to come and you're not prepared.
That's like a cheat code.
Uh-huh.
And it sucks to say it because the way they're doing it is strategic, but it's like, yeah, when she died,
It's
we
gonna
good.
happen.
Like, wait a minute.
Guaranteed.
like, wait, what?
It's guaranteed. It's gonna
Okay,
happen.
right.
You
So
might as well set the next generation up.
I didn't even think of that. That's a good way. And guys, TikTok, you guys, you know, you love the gems. That sounds like the perfect way to ensure your setup.
Yeah.
Correct.
You're
And for your
afraid
kids.
to set your kids up for generational wealth because you won't get to see that.
Yeah.
Set yourself up. You
Your
pay for
kids.
your parents' policy. It's inevitable. Like
Everybody
I said,
should do.
it's hard to talk about it, but we're gonna die. You know, we're all gonna pass away one day. Hopefully, as it should be, your parents should pass before you as the child. You can set yourself up for that. That's almost like, you know, all right, cool, mom. You know, she's gonna die. She's 90. I mean, you know, 90 is a really good age to pass. But let's say you're in your 60s, your mom passed, but you had $1 million policy because you and all your, like they're saying, you and all your siblings were paying $250 each a month. And now you got $1 million policy. You break that, it's three of you guys, you know, you break that down to a little over 300,000. Now you have generational wealth that's created from your mom's passing for $300 a month or less.
And like how you said, Kippy, how you taught your kids what to do with the money that they're going to come into when you pass away. What if every generation did that? Like, what if your grandparents passed away and left your parents $1 million, and then your parents passed away and left you $1 million, and then you passed away and left your kids $1 million? Or maybe it's growing. Maybe grandparents left 1, parents leave 2, you leave 3, kids leave 4, and it's just a ripple effect. And now, like, poverty's completely broken off of your bloodline. Like, you're building generational wealth forever. Your last name is now, it's like the Rockefellers. Now your common last name that, you know, you never built a business, you never had success in life, you didn't even go to college, but you had $200 a month that you were paying into $1 million policy. So now your last name is known. Like, that's crazy.
That's so beautiful. It's beautiful because we don't know about. I know. I think 2 weeks ago.
I love your questions. Make sure you check out the webinar. You might be a good fit.
Yes. Get on that webinar, Diana.
Oh yeah, Diana. Listen, Diana be on.
Diana, I like her.
Diana, she asks questions. She's never been afraid. I've known Diana for over a year now, but she's never been afraid to ask questions.
I love
it.
it.
Oh, I am. Look, oh, I am. She ain't playing either. I can guarantee she texts y'all already. You know, she makes sure she gets it done. But to everybody else, because all my questions are asked, it looks like TikTok doesn't have anything new. This is just like my recap. You guys can close out, but life insurance is it's more important than we're making it seem. You know, we're laughing, we're joking. I have a policy. They're my agents. I'm sure they have policies as well. We can laugh at this point now. We're covered. We know how important it is. We set our families up so when we do pass, they're good. I just try to teach it. Chris and Erica, they teach it. But at the end of the day, just like with credit and like my mentorship, I tell people, if you're not ready, you're not going to do it. The one thing I don't want you guys to do is to just be like, oh, let me open a policy that you're never going to pay. You're wasting your money. The first thing you have to do is change your mindset. It serves no purpose to buy anything, you know, a mentorship, a policy, a course, a class, any of that stuff, if you don't plan to go all the way through with it. If I could talk to my 17-year-old KP, I would already be a millionaire, guys. I'm not even joking. That $12 policy, when I tell y'all it hurts me because the now me knows how much value I lost. This is something that I want you all to teach your kids. This is something that I want you all to teach yourselves. I want you all to learn and understand, like, this is more than just us. Like they said, generational wealth is created. You know, it's hard to say it, but somebody has to be the sacrifice. Not in a negative way, but somebody has to be that person that is willing to sacrifice their life, willing to sacrifice their time with their family, willing to sacrifice themselves to create the generational wealth. I'm going to be the one that is going to invest all my time and all my resources into ensuring that my generation, that my family becomes good. So the Pearson becomes a household name. I want the Elevation Academy to live through my grandkids and my great grandkids and my great grandkids. I want them to all know, like, man, we all selling credit and we all selling like Michonne's and we all doing this because of my great granddaddy KP. You know, he made it do what it do, baby, and that's what it is. That's what it's all about. So I got that, and Chris, I want to thank you on live, thank you publicly. Like you helped me, you know, go into that mindset. I knew how important it was, but you know, our conversations, brother, you know, you pretty much reassured me that what I was thinking is what it should really be, and I just try to push that to my people, man. So I want to thank you guys for coming on the show. I want to thank you guys for being my personal insurance brokers and helping me set up my family for generational success. Because, like I said, I'm doing what I can while I'm alive. This just doubles down on that. You know, the Elevation Academy should carry us to financial freedom while I'm alive. But the day that I die, my life insurance policy will give them an extra push. So, again, I want to thank you guys. And if you all haven't done it already, text that number.
Tap in.
So yeah, you can take the floor to close out.
Man, I just want to say thank you for sharing your platform, and there's a bunch of agents that you could have brought on, but I appreciate you actually having us. And I don't know if I had a chance to say it to you, but from a distance, we admire what you're doing. You know, we kind of start this game as just agents learning the business, but watching your content and seeing what you're doing, man, it's elevated our game. You've talked about it before we got on. Like, you've seen a drastic difference in the last 6 months. It's because we're watching the stuff that you're putting out there. So, guys, we've been in business for a couple of years. We made 6 figures for a couple of years, and we still watch this guy from a distance and pick up nuggets. And our business has probably doubled this year, probably doubled the last 7-8 months, just by adding some of the stuff that we learned just from following on Facebook. So if you got the opportunity to be in the mentorship or just have a relationship with him, please take advantage of it, because it's good information. And the thing about this, guys, you'll never know it. I'll say it. He didn't ask, like, oh, pay for it to be on my channel. He didn't say, when you get a commission and split me. He didn't say any of that. He literally said, I just want to give them the information so they can have it to change their lives. So it was no money, none of that stuff. It was just all good faith and good heart. And that's who you're following. So keep following him. Anything that he asks of you, try to do it. Try to support the channel, like it, share it. Get the mentorships, but take advantage of the opportunity, because it's all about mindset, guys. Anybody can do it as long as you're willing to change.
Yes, thank you so much, KP, for bringing us up. This has been so much fun, and we're looking forward to supporting you however we can.
Hey, well, look, we're gonna get there. Like I said, I talked to these guys backstage about our portal. So we got a little credit life insurance thing that I'm working to build out too. So like Chris was saying, I'm pouring into you guys. You know, I'm networking. I'm getting affiliated with everybody that I know can be beneficial to my people. And life insurance is one of those things. I do not offer it. Like I said, I can't answer none of your questions. I'll text webinar myself, but these two are my go-tos. So we're building something huge. We're trying to have every aspect of financial literacy. You know, credit, it starts with credit, you know, while you're alive, because that's how you get access to OPM. Once you get access to OPM, you start making money from that. Mm-hmm. And now that we have this life insurance cheat code, you know, and I'll tell y'all, it's a cheat code. It ain't just life insurance. Now I'm taking other people's money and making money from it, putting it into my policy, and then I'm taking my own money and paying myself back interest free. I'm literally building generational wealth just from having a 750 credit score. Like, it is, y'all done through so much. Look, I got notes. I ain't gonna let y'all, you know, I don't want to buy this food, but I go crazy. Like Shanice to tell y'all, we be in our morning Zoom, and she be like, why you always writing? I'm like, I got an idea. You know what I'm saying? Yes. Did something, I got a new idea, and I'm always building. So again, like, I appreciate you guys. It looks like we don't have anything else from TikTok. I appreciate the follows, guys. Your handles, your social media handles. How can the people follow you guys or reach out to you guys outside of the text link?
Yes. So on Instagram and TikTok, it's our first last name _ chosen. So
Erica Cobb, ERIKACOBB _chosen, CHOSEN, and Chris Cobb, CHRISCOBB _chosen, CHOSEN. So those are for Instagram and TikTok, and on Facebook, my name's Erica Cobb and Chris is Chris Blake Cobb.
_chosen. Chris is Chris Cobb They make it easy. Remember, guys, I tell you, there you go, right there.
There you go. There you go. Follow.
I gotta tell you guys, when you're business owners, you want everything to flow and make it easy to find. Their business is called The Chosen Agency. Erica Cobb _chosen, Chris Cobb _chosen. Chosen Agency. The Chosen Agency is on Facebook, right? You guys have a page. Their names, Chris's middle name is Blake, so it's Chris Blake Cobb on Facebook, Erica Cobb on Facebook. They are accessible. I'm not saying you're just going to be able to pick up a phone and call them if you're not a client, but they are reachable. They're accessible. Text webinar to that number if you guys haven't already. I hope you guys have gotten information from this live. If you haven't, I don't know what live you were watching. That's but again, thank you guys. I'm gonna end the live, but don't leave the portal.
Bye, guys.
Thank you.
And